A lone gunman rounds a corner near the White House and opens fire. 2 National Guardsmen fall. Chaos erupts. The shooter, an Afghan national granted asylum this year, is in custody. Terror questions swirl, the capital locks down, and Trump orders reinforcements. The story is only getting darker. Two West Virginia National Guard members are fighting for their lives after what authorities are calling a targeted ambush just blocks from the White House on Wednesday afternoon. The attack unfolded at approximately 2:15 in the afternoon, near the corner of 17th and I streets, where the soldiers were conducting high-visibility patrols. Metropolitan Police Assistant Chief Jeff Carroll said the suspect rounded a corner, raised a firearm, and immediately opened fire on the guardsman. West Virginia Governor Patrick Morrisey condemned the shooting in a video statement.
Earlier today, 2 West Virginia National Guardsmen were brazenly shot in Washington, D.C. This was an act of unspeakable violence. Our hearts, our thoughts, our prayers go out to the brave service members, their families, and the units who are enduring this terrible tragedy. We're going to work hard with West Virginia. I know the state stands behind the Guard.
After an exchange of gunfire, other National Guard members nearby subdued the shooter. The suspect was also wounded during the confrontation and remains in custody at a local hospital in critical condition. Washington Mayor Muriel Bowser described the incident as a targeted attack on the service members. FBI Director Kash Patel confirmed both guardsmen remain in critical condition.
We're here to brief you on the tragic events that happened today at approximately 2:15 local time in Washington, D.C., where 2 of our brave members of the National Guard and the Department of War were brazenly attacked in a horrendous act of violence. They were shot. They're in critical condition. As you can see behind me, we have assembled the full force of both the federal and state and local law enforcement agencies to bring bear all of our resources to make sure we find the perpetrators responsible for this heinous act. And make no mistake, they will be brought to justice. Since this is an assault on a federal law enforcement officer, this will be treated at the federal level as an assault on a federal law enforcement officer. The FBI will lead out on that mission with our interagency partners, to include the Department of Homeland Security, Secret Service, ATF, DEA, and we're thankful for the mayor's assistance in this matter, the Metropolitan Police Department and their skills in investigating homicides and gun shootings in this city is exceptional. We will work together collaboratively because this is a matter of national security, because it's a matter of pride. President Trump has been informed. We've been in contact with the White House. We will shortchange the American public with no resources to make sure we find and safeguard our nation's capital right here in Washington, D.C., and bring anyone responsible for this heinous act of violence to justice.
According to Justice Department officials speaking anonymously, investigators have identified the suspect as Rahmanullah Lakanwal, a 29-year-old Afghan national from Washington state. The FBI is investigating the shooting as a potential act of international terrorism. US President Trump addressed the nation from his Palm Beach resort, calling the shooting an act of evil, hatred, and terror.
I am determined to ensure that the animal who perpetrated this atrocity pays the steepest possible price. I can report tonight that based on the best available information, the Department of Homeland Security is confident that the suspect in custody is a foreigner who entered our country from Afghanistan.
Lakanwal entered the United States in September 2021 through a special visa program for Afghans who assisted American forces during the war and faced Taliban reprisals after the withdrawal. However, he overstayed his visa and was in the country illegally at the time of the attack. According to law enforcement sources, Lakanwal applied for asylum in 2024 and was granted asylum in April 2025 under the Trump administration. The shooting sent the White House into lockdown as multiple federal and city law enforcement agencies descended on the scene. Trump was at his Mar-a-Lago resort in Florida at the time. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, speaking to reporters in Santo Domingo, announced Trump had ordered 500 additional National Guard troops deployed to Washington in response to the attack.
This happened just steps away from the White House. It will not stand. And that's why President Trump has asked me, and I will ask the Secretary of the Army to the National Guard, to add 500 additional troops, National Guardsmen, to Washington, D.C. This will only stiffen our resolve to ensure that we make Washington, D.C. safe and beautiful. The drop in crime has been historic. The increase in safety and security has been historic. But if criminals want to conduct things like this, violence against America's best, we will never back down. President Trump will never back down.
Witnesses near Farragut Square described a chaotic scene. Eyewitness Mike Ryan said he heard what sounded like gunfire and ran half a block away before hearing another round of shots. When he returned to the scene, he saw 2 guardsmen on the ground, with people attempting to resuscitate one of them, whilst other guard troops had pinned someone to the ground.
We ran down the street, and then about a minute later, we still weren't completely convinced that it was gunfire, so I walked back to the corner, and I only saw one police car there, so I figured it couldn't be anything. So I walked up and I saw they had a person pinned on the ground yelling at him to stay down, and there was broken glass in the bus stop, and then they moved, like it was some sort of construction vehicle or something along those lines, and they moved the vehicle, and that's when we saw 2 National Guards on the ground, and one they were trying to resuscitate. And then at that point, it was still even a couple of minutes before there was any response. Like, they didn't have anything closed off, and it was kind of surreal, to be honest with you. And it took us a couple of minutes to realize how serious the situation was.
The FBI continues to investigate whether the attack may have been inspired by an international terrorist organization. However, there seems to be no clarity on that so far.